Okay, guys, it's August 9th, and we're going to have a little presentation tonight, which I called Develop Yourself. And we're going to go over a few things on developing yourself in your business, but also in your life, and some organization tools that I've been using this week that I think have literally changed my business since I got back from Summit. And I'm going to share that with you, but I'm also going to share, your own perspective that you have to do whatever works for you. So let me just share the screen. Jackie, can you see it? Because you're on my board. I can see your face. Yeah? Okay. All right. So tonight we're talking about developing yourself, like I said. So this is going to be an all-around develop yourself in your business and in your own life. A lot of my PD for this week has been Shailene Johnson. And if you guys listen to her, she talks a lot about, developing yourself as a person, which helps you develop yourself as a business person, because successful people have to take care of themselves first. And I truly believe that. And that's what my answer always is when people ask me how I do it with 3 kids. I'm like, I worry about me first and I do everything else after, because if I don't, then I don't do anything and my whole world falls apart. So the first part of this that I want to go over is tracking and what works for you. So I wrote here, tracking and following up, key to business. Why? So following up is the most important thing you could do in your business. And there's so many reasons why, but my key reasons that I wanted to talk about was that you're showing interest and concern genuinely. If you're just showing up to when you're like trying to make the sale, then that's what it feels like to that person. Even if you don't truly feel that way, and I know that some people don't, they're just scared to follow up, you're making someone else feel that way. And that's the truth. So you might just be thinking, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to come off as a salesperson. But they're thinking, oh my God, this person's just a salesperson. They only come to me when they want to make a sale. They don't really care about what's going on. I told them I lost my dog. I told them I can't pay my mortgage, this, and this, but I haven't heard from them since. And then what happens in 6 months when something else is on sale, you check back in with them. That's not a follow-up. That's a check-in. And check-ins and follow-ups are 2 different things. So following up means you know that person's story and you're being personal with them. So what I said about Jen, my new coach, the way she did it was she met in person today, which obviously we can't do that with everybody as we get bigger, or people don't always live by us. But if you can, you want to do the extra mile wherever you can. Zoom, FaceTime, send voice messages. I've learned that voice messages change the game when it comes to my clients and my follow-ups, because people appreciate the fact that I take time to speak to them, even if I'm not on a phone call with them. And let's be honest, if we got on a phone call with every single person, we would never do anything in our whole life. I know that when I get on my calls with my coaches, it's like, okay, we're going to talk about one thing, and then it's like 30 minutes later and we're not even talking about that thing. I tried to train Jen the other day and it went on tangents forever. And I'm like, do you even know what Beachbody coaching is? Because I don't think we talked about that. So, you obviously can't give everything to everyone, but you need to at least show personality and show that it matters by following up with them correctly. So if you need to literally remind yourself every day to follow up with the same people, then remind yourself, but just make sure you're getting it done. And that's why tracking is so important, because if you're not tracking who you're connecting with and who showed interest, or who you know something about, or what program they're interested in, you're not going to be able to follow up correctly. So then you're just going to be following up with no back to yourself. You're just going to be like, hey, I'm back. Do you want to buy something? And that's not personal and that's not genuine. So you want to connect and reconnect and reconnect. And that's what I do. And literally some of my conversations have gone on for 2 years, and some of them buy and some of them don't. But literally every conversation runs and runs and runs and runs. And sometimes I suck and I'm like, oh my God, when I go back to this like tracker that I did a few months ago, I was looking at people the other day and I was like, oh my God, there's like 40 people I haven't talked to in like 6 months. That's terrible. And that makes me feel horrible. And it's because I stopped tracking. And when you stop tracking, you lose connections and you lose your follow-ups. And what happens then is losing someone to someone else who does follow up. And that doesn't just mean in Beachbody world, that means in any kind of business. So they could be doing It Works, or they could be doing isogenics, or they could be doing Herbalife, but whatever they're doing, they followed up, and that person took the chance on that person just because of that follow-up. So I hear you guys all the time like, oh my God, this person was going to sign with me and now she's doing isogenics. I guarantee somewhere along the line, you stopped following up, or you stopped caring about their story. And somewhere along the line, that person somehow connected to their need and gave them it, or it connected to their wants and gave them it. So you have to be able to be that person, and then you will never lose someone to another product. I've literally hardly ever lost someone to another product, only if they decide that they want like a quick fix after they do Beachbody. But no one's ever like gone somewhere before me, because I always am there following up. So the last part of this is that I wrote set business hours. So I said this in my video the other day. I don't know if anyone caught it, but I really feel so strongly about this because I started to like really think about my business and what I do and how it works for me. And I'm like sitting here pounding the pavement, like, why does it work for some people and it doesn't work for other people? Like, why do some people get it and some people don't? And I look at the different people that are successful, very successful, and then the people that are just successful in our little, you know, elite empire, and not very little, but you know what I mean. And I think the only difference is some people treat it like it's a real business and some people don't. So I tell you guys all the time, are you a real coach or are you a hobby coach? Hobby coaches are not going to set business hours. They're going to talk to a few people. They're going to answer questions if someone asks. People might even ask, are you still a coach? That's not a real coach. That's a hobby coach. Not that it's not a real coach. It's just not a business coach. It's not someone that's going to grow this and make more money and have it build every year. That's just someone that shows up whenever someone decides to ask them a question or if they decide to be accountable. A business coach and someone who makes it a business and has real money and has an income and has all of this residual income growing is a business coach, and they set business hours. And although those business hours can differentiate every day or every week or whatever, and it doesn't always go according to plan, I can't rest at the end of the day. There has not been one day since I became a Beachbody coach that I haven't done something, anything, whether it's just checking in because I'm saying, hey, I'm on vacation and I'm not answering questions. I'm still somehow related to the Beachbody world in every part of my day. And if you're not waking up with the intentions that this is something you have to do, then it's not a business for you. And that's the honest truth. I actually, just like 2 nights ago, I was telling my new coach, I'm like, I dreamt about Beachbody all night and it kills my brain sometimes. But in my dreams, I was thinking of all the things I needed to do the next day. And obviously my priority is my family and my friends and my life, but this is part of my life. And if I had a real 9-to-5 job that I had to show up to, just like any other person, I would have to show up to that job to get paid. And I have to show up and you have to show up to this job to get paid. You cannot expect anything to be handed to you just because you post a selfie every day or post a workout every day. People will be inspired and they'll ask questions or they'll comment, but it's not going to continuously grow unless you're doing the work and you're setting business hours. It's just so important. Even if it's 1 hour a day, 20 minutes a day, figure out your niche. So what's worked for me, like I said, are a few things I've been changing up this week and I freaking love, and it's changed the game for me literally the last 2 weeks because I just love this technique. I'm using GTasks Pro and GCal Pro. So these are 2 apps. Look for them in your app store. I got it for $5.99 as a bundle, and they're both amazing. So they link to your Google Calendar. So when I'm working on my computer, I have my Google Calendar up, my Google Mail, and a task in the right-hand corner of my Google Mail, which links to my GTasks Pro. And whatever I put in there on my phone or on the computer will link together. I set times and reminders and future dates. So like someone just said to me, I'm going to be on vacation. I'm coming back this date. And then I want to talk about buying on this date. So I wrote down the date in there under her name that the first alert was for when she returns from vacation to check on how her vacation went. And then I put a second alert on when the date is that she said she wanted to order so I can recheck in on her order and if she was still interested. So every time someone says something to me now, where before I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it in 5 minutes. And I'd be like, crap, I never did that. Like someone said, Ange, can you send me that detox in email form? Because I need it and I want to print it at work. And I said, yeah, give me 5 minutes. But I put it in my GTask right then and there. And I set an alert for 5 minutes. And if I didn't do it, I snoozed it for 15 more minutes so that I didn't forget about it. Now, every night before I go to bed, I look through my task list and say, what didn't I do today that I have to do? Did I cancel someone's shakes? Did I modify someone's order? Whatever I say I'm going to do, I add in there. And whenever someone says they want me to follow up or they have a timeline on something or they're on vacation or they have a doctor's appointment, like I have a friend who's finding out the gender of her baby and she's on our team and I don't want to forget that she's finding out the gender of her baby. So I put a little alert reminder that she's going to do that. So things like that. Those work for me. I'm obsessed with it. I don't think I'm going to use anything else. I'm trying to incorporate every tracker I've ever used in my life into this. What I'm also using is a notepad, obviously. So just like any other normal person, this. And I'm just going to change the page every day. And what I need to carry on to the next day, I put to the next day right away and I rip out the other page because I'm a page hoarder. I'm like an information hoarder. I just like to save everything I write down. So I don't need to have all of it. As long as it's in my brain and I'm implementing it in some way, I don't need it. I'm just going to throw it away for now on. And the last thing I'm doing is the challenge tracker app. And Lindsay did an amazing call on this week. And I think she did. She posted it in the group. So if you guys did not watch it, you need to go watch it because she literally broke it all down, and I'm obsessed with this app. I just emailed all of my challengers, and everyone is texting me back as we speak saying, thank you for checking in. I'm so excited. This tracker is so awesome. I love this app. It's so much fun. And it literally shows you everything your challengers are doing. It shows you who answers it, who didn't get it, who you can resend it to, who's checking in with shakes, who's not. So it's such an amazing, I'm so mad at myself for not using it for the last few months. I was one of those people who were like, I don't need that. I love my Facebook groups. And now I'll never look at another Facebook group at all. So if you guys are not using it, learn it and get to it. Even if you have 2 people in it, it's worth it. And then do what works. Stop trying to overuse the system, right? And I've been guilty of this, so I'm saying this from myself because I had to stop myself the last 2 weeks and say, I'm using every system people give me, a coach tracker app, a daily app, a monthly tracker, this tracker, that tracker, a binder, an app. And I was like, none of it works for me. I just keep putting information all over the place. I have freaking notes all over my computer. My desk has been a mess. I have this binder that I bought the day I became a coach, and I had literally every product guide in here. Like, do I really need that? Everything is at the click of your fingers. And I've been a coach for long enough to know every product. I don't need it, right? So I cleared everything out. I'm going to stop using what doesn't work, and I'm going to use what works. So that's what you need to do. If you don't understand the system, don't try to understand it. Just move on to something that you do understand. Keep it simple, keep it clean, and stop trying to overthink it, because overthinking it makes you not do it. And I know because that's what happened to me the last few months. It was too hard. It didn't work. So I just stopped doing it. The next thing I'm talking about is revamping your whole life. So schedule your life. For me, this is the thing that makes my life work. People are always like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, I literally am a machine. I wake up, my routines are the same, my day looks the same. And sometimes I want to kill myself because it's like a hamster wheel between Monday through Friday at least. And usually when Dan's home on the weekends, my whole weekend is like jumbled, and I'm trying to do what I want to do, but I can't do it. But Monday through Friday is literally like cookie cut for me. It's the same thing when I wake up every day. I find a schedule that I found what works for me, and I tweak it at all times. So like the last 2 weeks, I've tweaked it a little bit, and I went back to things that worked before. Like, for example, I used to always use my diffuser in the morning, and I stopped doing that. And I was like, I love when I do that because it like wakes me up and it smells good and it like gives me energy. And I used to always listen to Shailene or a podcast by Beachbody in the morning, or Entrepreneur on Fire. And when I was doing that, my business was like amazing because I was so ramped up after breakfast, and I stopped doing that. So I started to incorporate those things again. And the last 2 weeks has just been flowing for me, and my brain is flowing, my thoughts, my everything. So what do you need to be productive, and what keeps you motivated? Like, think of the time where you felt the most motivated in not only your business, but your fitness and health, and write down the things that you were doing. Like, go back, put yourself in that moment, like a smell, a thought, something that you just were doing all the time that made you want to get up and do what you were doing. Like, for me, visuals are good. So when I'm marking off my workouts on a calendar, like physically on my fridge or like on my board, I'm motivated to do it because I'm like, I want to mark off the next day. So that works for me, and I know that. So I reprinted my schedule. So whatever was working at a time where you were working for real, go back to that, make a list, and revamp your schedule and make your life productive. So for me, like I said, I wake up and I like make my bed and all these things, and I have to do it that way. Like, I can't even work if my bed's not made. Every time I take a picture at like 6 a.m., people are like, your bed is made. And I'm like, I can't do anything if my bed is not made. Like, I just feel like I'm going to get back in it if I don't make it. So, that works for me. Make sure you, like for me, I have to work out before I do work. If I start answering messages, drinking my pre-workout, answering messages never works out because I'll just be wired and typing away for like an hour. I'll be like, this is great. It's really helping me work. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't work out. What was I doing? So I know that. I did that actually today, and literally it was the worst day ever. I had to figure out my workout all day, but I like sat down and I started doing messages while I was drinking my pre-workout, and then I like literally didn't work out for 3 hours, and I was sitting here in my workout clothes and I felt like a failure. And all I could think about was working out. So it was so counterproductive. So I don't do that. And then of course your regular life stuff. Like I find a spot for my bills. Then I find a spot for where I'm doing stuff with my kids and getting them out of the house and not driving myself crazy, and nap time and this time and whatever time. And the next part of it is something that Shailene Johnson has been talking a lot about on her podcast. If you listen to them, and literally because of this, my house is like empty. It has like nothing left because I just keep throwing things away. And like, I didn't even know I had so much stuff. I always think I'm like such a clutter-free person until I start to go through my stuff. But a cluttered workspace or a cluttered house is a cluttered brain. And unless you're just someone that really doesn't see clutter, and that takes a lot of skill, because I know for me, I see everything in my house whenever it's cluttered, you're gonna be distracted by clutter, even if you don't think you are. Because when I declutter my space, I literally get 100 more things done in a day, and I don't even know how that happened. I'm like, oh my God, I did so much today, but it's because my space feels like so good. My energy, my space, it feels so welcoming and inviting, and I just want to sit down and do work. So I'm like, oh, my desk looks so clean. And so like it started little. I like took one thing off my desk and another thing off my desk and then something out from underneath my desk. And now it's just like so clean. The only thing I have left is this freaking pink binder, which I totally have to get rid of, but I'm working on it. After that's gone, I'm going to be like, power hour every day, let's go. So I also declutter my home, but she says all the time, successful people have clean and tidy spaces and homes. She said there's like nobody that's successful in any business that you walk into their house and it's a mess. I feel like that has to be true, because I know that for me, like if I can even like go to someone's house if I know it's cluttered, and I'm not a mean person and I'm not like pretentious or anything, I just am like, so I'm so distracted by clutter, so like I can't do it. It makes me anxious. And it's a clutter-free equals stress-free. If you know you don't have to wake up every day and like worry about cleaning so much because you don't have much to clean, you get right to your work faster and right to your workout and right to your daily routines. Developing your story. So we heard a lot about this in Summit, and we hear a lot about this on all of our calls lately. It's like a recurring theme, but I feel like there's more to it than just the story that you come in with. And I think that's where people lose their connection to developing your story, because like you guys know, when I started, my story was kind of morbid and sad, and I still have that story, but I don't tell that story that often because I was attracting people that were morbid and sad and negative, and I don't want that type of person in my vibe, in my tribe. So I had to develop a new story, and that's what you guys need to do. You need to first realize you have a new story, and you have a story to begin with, but you need to develop the newer version of your story, which is like the fun, successful, like aha moment story. And the first part of doing that is finishing a program. If you don't finish a program, you're never going to have a new story, because you're never going to feel the effects of what it feels like to accomplish that program, to accomplish that accountability. And how are you supposed to share that or help someone do that if you don't know how to do that yourself? And that's the biggest disconnect I have with a lot of the coaches. Like, it's really hard for me to give advice to someone when it says like inactive next to their name, or I don't see them ever post anything about working out or something. Like, I'm like, I don't know what you think, but this is a health and fitness program. Like, you need to be into health and fitness, and that's the end of the line. If you look at any of the top coaches, all of them actually, and this is something that I thought was awesome when I was looking at them. I wasn't thinking about like what money they made or all this other stuff. I was like, damn, all of their arms are so in shape. Like, that's all I can think about at Summit. Every time I see a coach, a top coach, I'm like, wow, they're so in shape. Their arms, their legs, they're so sick. Like, I can't even take it. And you don't have to be at your perfect weight or your perfect shape. But the reason they look like that now is because they continuously follow programs. And while they're following their programs continuously, they're helping and finding people that need to do programs as well. And they're developing their story as they go into those programs. And then people are interested more and more and more, because if you just stay at one spot and say, 2 years ago, I lost all this weight with 21 Day Fix. Okay, that was 2 years ago, but what are you doing today? What makes me think that I'm going to sign up with you and get something from you today? Because that was 2 years ago. I can keep telling people I lost 85 pounds 3 years ago, but that doesn't matter to people now, especially when I didn't lose 85 pounds with the 21 Day Fix. What do they care? They're inspired, and it's awesome. I can show that you can do it, but they want to know why this works now. What can I offer them now? So your story comes first, your program comes first, and then your Beachbody story comes second. And as you change with the program, your story will change. And that's what you guys need to really relate to. Change with your change. I watch a girl who's one of the elite coaches. She's one of my friends. I met her at a Super Saturday. I'm obsessed with her. And the one thing I can tell you is that she does all of her programs through and through, and you follow her step by step of it. And every time she does a program, I'm interested in that program again. Even if I've done it already, I'm like, oh, damn, she got awesome results. I'm doing that program. And I just literally find myself following her program schedule every month because I'm obsessed with her results, and I see her day by day following this program. So what you offer when you do this is you offer that you have determination, you have loyalty to not only the business, but to your programs and your health and fitness. You have dedication to those things, and you have results. You have an answer. You're like, why should I sign up with you? Boom, this is why. Look at me. I look awesome. What else do you need, right? I showed up every day. What else do you need? You don't have to be a supermodel. Let's just get that straight. You don't have to be at your goal weight. You don't have to be completely toned and chiseled. But if you're not changing, you're not doing your programs. And that's just the bottom line. Because even me, like sometimes I'm like, am I really doing a good job? Like, I know I ate that cookie. Like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. And then I look and I take a picture and I take a progress pic and I'm like, damn, no, I'm doing it. I've been doing a good job. Because I looked at my pictures from 2 months ago when I started 21 Day Extreme, and I looked at my picture today in the same outfit and I was like, oh my God, I lost like 4 inches. It's insane. But I don't even need to know that to know that. I just have to see it. And if I show that to someone today, they're going to sign up with me tomorrow. And I'm telling you, because I do it every month. That's how I make Success Club every month, because I have something to share every single month with someone. Guidance, and it's also guidance through their journeys. And this is my favorite part. And this was like the bam of my like slideshow right now. Should have been at the end, but teaches patience for your clients and your business. So not only does it teach you patience to finish programs and develop a story, but it's in your health and fitness, but it teaches you patience in your business. Because if you can get through those 21 days and wait for that end result, or those 30 days, or those 60 days, or those 90 days, and you're like, I'm going to get to that result. If you think the same way about your business and you treat your business the same way, you can do it. And that's why you learn patience in all aspects, but you also teach your clients to learn patience as well. And then embrace change. So this is something we talked about, or Gary Vee talked about at Summit, but it's so important because I was one of these people. Because look at the tracker app. I was like, I don't want to do it. It's so lame. I want to use my Facebook groups. I know my Facebook groups. And I think if I would have started the tracker app 3 months ago, my business would be way better than it is right now, because it's just amazing. So social media updates, app updates, whatever changes, you change with it. Don't say you don't want to do Snapchat. Don't say you're not going to do Instagram stories. Don't say you're not going to go live on Facebook, because every other person is. So when you're sitting in the back saying, oh, that's corny, or I can't do that, someone else is saying, I'll do it. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. What works, I'll do it. What's everyone looking at? What's everyone watching? What's going on? What's the new hip thing? So you need to do it, which I want to actually congratulate all of you, because I do feel like we like took over Instagram story the second it launched. I literally could not go on there without seeing every single coach. Like I was like, there's nobody else on my Instagram. I have 900 people that are like that I follow, and I literally saw only Elite Empire through my whole newsfeed. So I was like, this is awesome. I'm so happy and glad that everyone took that and ran. That was amazing. So good job, guys. And almost done. Implement and be patient. So implement. This is the one thing that really bothers me, and we talk a lot about this like as leaders when we're having our little powwows. I can't stand when people waste time listening to my calls, or anyone's calls, or webinars. Or the best is when people pay for webinars. Like that I don't get, because if you're paying for a webinar, your business should be like tomorrow. Like you should be the best coach in the world tomorrow. Because if you're going to take that and if you're going to pay for something, if you're going to spend that much time, money, and effort into doing something, you should be implementing it. And somewhere along the line, you're just being a listener and a watcher, and you're not implementing it. So you have to stop listening to this. Oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow, that went out the window. Oh, that's a really good idea. I'm never going to. Okay, for example, Summit, right? Everyone was on a Summit high. Everyone. But what happens 2 weeks later now? Where's everyone? Crickets. Everyone's quiet again. No one's doing anything. Not anyone. I'm just saying. But there was so much people, and I said to you guys in the group, I said only 10% of you in here are going to take this and do something with it. And I meant it, because I see it happen every year. And that's what happened. And it's only 2 weeks later, and there's still only 10% of the people that are still on that Summit high and still believe in what they're doing and still want to be there next year. So who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that keeps saying you're going to be the person at Summit and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, or whatever? Or are you going to make it happen? Because if you just keep listening to us, I don't know what you're here for. So unless you just want to hang out with me because I'm a lot of fun, and that's fine too. Other than that, you have to do what you have to do, and you have to make it work. Be a go-getter and be relentless. The one thing I will definitely tell you about what my success came from as far as making diamond right away and being able to continuously make this a full-time income for my business in my life was that I'm relentless when it comes to meeting goals. I'm not a relentless person when it comes to like other people. Like I'm not going to like kick someone down to get a freaking sale. Like someone will say to me, oh, I know so-and-so, and I direct them to so-and-so, and I even help so-and-so get that sale because that is not my style. And I don't want to ever get on top by stealing something from someone else. But I am relentless when it's my goal. So I may give away 7 people because I'm nice, but then I'm going to find 7 more people because okay, fine, take them. I'm good. I'm going to make this a bigger goal. Now I'm going to meet 14 people, so I'm relentless. And I tell you guys all the time. So I lie all the time, I should say. And I'm starting to be more honest now. This is where my tough love is coming in. Because honestly, I'm just tired of watching you guys struggle in your business when you guys are so awesome. And that's the honest truth. Because I'm like, some of these girls are like way better than me. I don't really understand, but what I do know is that I baby you guys and I'll say, you can do it. And this is awesome. And that's true. But what I don't tell you guys is the dark part of it. And the dark part is that to become diamond in 30 days in my first month of business, it took literally everything that I had left in my soul to get it done. I didn't sleep. I don't even know if I ate. I didn't even work out, which I don't recommend because that really messed up my brain because I was like a really good workout. Like I worked out so hard before that, but I would go to the gym and answer messages the whole time. And I was like, this is ruining my life. But that was the only part that ruined my life, by the way, but that's terrible. But I wasn't sleeping. I was working 2 jobs. I had 2 kids. My youngest, Anthony, who's now my middle, was only 1, barely 1. And I was just like literally so goal set on, I wanted to say that I made diamond that fast. That was my only goal. Like I didn't even understand diamond. I didn't understand the business even that much. And I didn't really know anything except that I wanted to say that I made diamond in 30 days. I'm like, that sounds like really important. And I want to do that. And I am just that kind of person. So the honest truth is if you guys want it bad enough, you have to put your heart, your soul, and everything you have left every day into this business. When you feel like you have nothing left, you're running on empty, your fuel is low, you need to figure out a way to make it work. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to get you where you need to be. And you don't have to be that way forever. And if you want to be that way forever, you might be the next top coach. That's awesome. But that's not my goal. Like my goal is not to be a top coach. It's to be a successful coach. And for me, once I hit diamond, it was all about just continuously add in to make my business steady. And then once it was steady, the next step for me was finding rock stars that got it, because I wanted to add people to my team, not to become star diamonds, because that still I didn't see the big picture. I really didn't get that until recent, but it was because I wanted people to fuel my tank. So I was almost being selfish, but I was like, I need people on my team that feel the way I do, that feel the way Rosanna does, or Lindsay does, or Allie does, because these are my mentors, my success partners, and we all feel the same way about the business, and we were all successful. And I was like, I want people that are on my team that feel that way, because that's awesome. And it would feel amazing to have those type of people that I found and I taught and I trained and we became one. So that's what I set out to do. And that's what you guys need to learn. Once you put everything in and you realize this is the big picture of being diamond, then everything else comes second. To say like, I want to be 5-star diamond by November and I want to do, it's not there, because you didn't hit diamond. Until you hit diamond, you don't have a business mentality. Diamond is where you start to train your brain to realize this is something that can last forever. And the other part of that is that I saw the bigger picture. So once I saw my first cycle, after a month, I was diamond. And then it took about maybe a month to get my first cycle. And I saw that cycle and I was like, oh my God, they just gave me money for nothing. Like, and we know it's not nothing. We grew a business, but in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, $18 and I didn't do anything today, So once I saw $18, I was like, well, in a year from now, that could be like $40. And in 2 years from now, that could be $100. But it's been 2 years, and that $14 or $18 is now $300 a week before I do anything. And I knew that was the bigger picture. And I was okay with that. I was okay with waiting, because now I think, oh my God, now Darby cycle is about $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it is. I'm like, if in 2 years from now, I even cycle $800, I will be freaking jumping off the walls, because we'll be rich. So in my mind, I see the bigger picture of maybe $600 to $800 in 2 more years. And that's worth 2 more years in my life. And I know that, and I'm okay with that. And that's why I never have a plan B. And you can't have a plan B if you want to get past this, and if you want to make this something that lasts in your life. So that's where that whole thing of patience come in. I kind of just tied it in, but patience. Nothing great comes fast. Nothing amazing comes easy. It sounds corny and it sounds stupid, and we can all say it, and we can post our little quotes every morning and tell everyone the same thing and say, oh my God, you guys got to keep working at this. But until you truly believe it and understand it, it doesn't matter what you say. It's just words. And that's with anything, right? Like words are just words. Actions prove what those words mean. So see the bigger picture and work for that bigger picture. Don't work for that tomorrow or that next week or that next month. You have to work for the bigger picture. But on that same level, you have to do the steps that get you to the bigger picture. Don't just say, I want to be diamond by the end of November. What are you going to do? What's going to get you there? How are you going to do that? And then implement it. And the last thing I want to say here is give up on giving up. And I see a lot of you give up all the time. And that's the honest truth. And you have to be honest with yourself. How many times have you given up on a program? How many times have you given up on eating good or working out or posting about it or following up with people? I'm sure that all of you right now are thinking in your head, like, I've done that. I've done that. And it could be for good reason. And there are terrible things that happen in life. But I've had so many things go on in the last 2 years. And everyone says this. And a lot of the coaches that are like top coaches say this. But I'm telling you right now, I've had so many things, and I have so many things going on in my life right this second, like just so many things. And I just never let that take over my business, because at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, you have to show up to your job and you have to get paid and you have to make a living. Unless you're lucky and you don't have to, that's great. Then you can go. But if you didn't quit your job because of something that's going on in your life, then don't quit this. Because if you keep giving up, you're never going to make this work, because someone is not going to go with someone that gives up. Because the one thing I know for sure, and the one thing I can tell you for sure, is that people need someone to believe in them, but they can't believe in themselves if they feel like the person that's believing in them doesn't even believe in themselves. And last but not least, what separates you from me? Oops, spelling error, Megan, don't kill me. There we go. So what separates you from me? So I have a little quote here that says, I never dreamed about success, I worked for it. And it's one of my favorite quotes, and I used this on a call a long time ago, but it's so true. Because if you guys think that I just woke up one day and said, hey, I'm going to be a Beachbody coach, and then I said, hey, I'm going to be really good at it, and then everyone's like, hey, I'm so glad you're a Beachbody coach, now you're going to do really good because we're all going to buy from you, and let's all come together and make Angela successful. Like, that didn't happen. I didn't sit there and just say, I'm just going to be a Beachbody coach and it's going to work. I worked my butt off for what I have, and every day that I want to quit, and I do, I want to quit like once a day. So if you guys think I don't, I totally do. Once a day, I rationalize quitting. Once a day. I'm not even going to pretend or sugarcoat it. And sometimes it's because I am afraid of failing, right? So I'm afraid that in 2 more years, if my cycle isn't where I think it should be, or if in 2 more years I'm not at least a 2-star, 5-star, whatever I think I should be, next summit, I have to somehow go sit in the stands after sitting on the floor last year. If something doesn't work out and something doesn't go the way I think it should and the way that I feel I deserve because of the work I do, I feel like I'm going to fail. And then if I fail, I'm just going to give up. So I already give up in my head some days because I'm like, I don't really want to get there and then feel really sad about it. So I'm just going to do it now. But that's not rational, because the only way to get success is to work for it. And if I sit here and think about how I'm going to fail, I'm never going to be successful. So what makes you different? Nothing. What makes you unique? Everything. What's your brand? What's your story? Totally not what my brand or story is. Totally not what Melanie Mitchell's is or Darby's is or whoever else's is. So find who you are. What do you want to attract? Because the people that like me or the people that I like aren't going to be the people that you like. And maybe it will be. And there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm so mad that that's your coach because I love her. You know, like I look at Trish and I'm like, Trish is so me. Like Trish should be my coach. Like, you know, I freaking love her. Jess, like me and Jess vibe so well. We have like the same life. Like, why didn't you find me, Jess? You know, but that's not my coach and that's not who I attracted. But there is someone out there that's like them that I will attract, but that doesn't mean that Jess or Trish are your jam, right? Maybe you don't like them, you know, maybe they're just not your thing. That's fine. I'm not everyone's cool. Like I'm not everyone's thing. Some people, I just don't know. Like some people won't like me and that's fine. And some people don't like Allie and that's fine. And some people don't like Rosanna, but that's not who they attracted, right? They attracted someone else. So you have to stop worrying about what we do or what this one does or what anyone does really. And you have to start worrying about who you are, because you're the person that people are coming to. They're not going to come to you and say, oh, by the way, I see you're friends with Angela. Because if they thought that, then they'd come to me. They wouldn't go to you. So don't worry about what we're doing or anybody's doing or anyone in the world, really, not just Beachbody, because you have to find what makes you different. What do you have to offer? I know, I figured it out. Like, I get what people want from me. They want recipes. They want clean eating tips. They want me to have a chaotic life and show that I'm chaotic because they think I'm perfect. And to know I'm not perfect makes them feel better. So that's what I have to offer. So now figure out what you do. Write down a list of the things that you love, the things that you do in your life that you feel like are important to other people, things that attract other people, and things that you want to attract other people, because that's the person you want to find. And that's it. That's what I have for you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, no, that's video. Whoops. I don't know what I'm doing. Donnie's crying in the background. It's making my brain hurt. Oh my God, there's 9 chats. Let me just see what you guys got going on here. I have so many people come work out with me at my house so they can tell. Yeah, Dakota, that's a freaking amazing. When I was doing boot camps, like, they were the thing. Like, people were obsessed with my boot camps. How many follow-ups do you do without a response? Like, I don't want to pester someone. Heather, when that happens, the way I twist it is I'll basically just, like, okay, for example, I just realized one of my clients blocked me on Facebook, and I was like, what the freak? We just talked like yesterday. And I went to rate her, and I'm like, it said I couldn't rate her. And I'm like, so I asked my friend, like our friends, Courtney was like, no, her profile exists. And I'm like, okay, cool. I text her. I'm like, did I do something? So I was like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not in a mean way. I was like, hey, noticed you blocked me. What happened? Are we good? You know, like, she's my freaking client. She just bought shakes. It makes no sense. Apparently she did it on accident. I don't know if I totally believe that, but the point I'm making is that sometimes you just got to be honest. So sometimes just say to them, be like, listen, I noticed you stopped talking to me. I don't want to rub you the wrong way. I'm not trying to sell you on something. I'm just concerned that maybe something is wrong, or maybe I did something wrong, and I just want to have a good relationship with you. So you don't have to answer me if you don't want to, and we don't have to talk. I said that to her. I said, listen, I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to read it to you because it sounds better the way I said it than the way I'm explaining it, because it kind of sounded like I'm being a biatch, and I really wasn't being a biatch. I was like, hey, Mary, it's Angela. I noticed you blocked me. I just want to make sure we're good. I don't care about Beachbody. If you need to cancel, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I didn't do anything to offend or hurt you. Thanks. Hope you're okay. And she answered back. She's like, no, of course not. I'm so sorry. And like I said, I don't know if that's completely true. Maybe I've had people block me a million times, but I really was concerned. I'm like, what the hell did I do this girl? Like, what could I have done to hurt her so bad that she blocked me after I just spoke to her? That's crazy. So, you know, sometimes when they don't answer, do something like that. Like, be legit honest. Just be like, hey, what's up? Tell me. You can talk to me. I'm a real person. You don't got to buy a product to answer me. Just give me an answer, you know? And people appreciate that because, you know, and I would say 90% of those times you're going to get an answer, and you're going to get an answer that's like, listen, I just didn't answer you because I just really can't afford it right now and I'm embarrassed, or I really don't think I'm ready to start it and I just didn't want to disappoint you. And then you could say, listen, girl, you're not disappointing me. Let's start small. What can I do to help you right now? Is there anything you want from me? Do you want me to just check in with you? If you can't afford it, is there something free I can offer you? I have these awesome clean eating plans. I'll give you them. Don't worry about it. I'll email them to you today. I don't want anyone to stay unhealthy because they can't afford a product, because that's not the way I roll. I want everyone to be helped. And that shows genuineness, loyalty, and connection. And people will appreciate that. And that person may not be able to afford it today or tomorrow, but there'll be a time when she can, and she's going to want you to be her coach. And that's where your heart and your mind have to connect to the business, because you can't teach someone to care. And I tell you guys that all the time. If you just don't care about people, this is not the business for you. And that's the honest truth. And I've actually had a coach quit on me because she said, I don't like people. And I was like, you should probably not be a coach. And she was awesome. She was like selling a million things a day. She just didn't want to talk to people. And she's like, I don't really care what their goals are. I just want to get skinny. And that was fine. She was honest. So you have to be honest with yourself. My son is like freaking screaming. I don't even know where Danny is. So let me just text him because he's probably on the other wing of the house. You know, we're really rich here and we have a huge house. Hold on. Oh my God. He's like screaming, and I totally didn't think he was going to wake up. Okay, the 2 apps. Anna, did you get them? Where are you? Where's your face? Did you get the 2 apps? Okay, I don't know what you're saying. Oh, you got them. Trish did it. Duh, I should keep reading. My office is my favorite place because it's my only place I have clutter-free. Trish, it's so important. And mine was actually the opposite. Like, it was the only place that had clutter, which is ironic. So now it's good. When I see Anna and Trish, Vanessa, yes. And you're like the most accountable person on our team. Yeah, Megan, you shouldn't do things just because others do. You don't want to half-ass programs or apps just to do them. You should only specialize in one or two that you're good in. And that's exactly, see a spelling error on that last page. I fixed it really fast, Megan, before you saw it. I right-clicked and it switched it for me. Did Megan already? Oh, she's right there. I'm like, did Megan leave us? No. So, like exactly what Megan said, like I said, you have to be authentic. And I can't even stress that anymore. I can totally tell when someone is mimicking what I do or what someone else does on our team. It's just so obvious. And it's uncomfortable because you could see the uncomfortableness, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. And I can talk for myself. I've done it. Like I've tried to mimic Jess, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to put my containers to the side and I'm going to take a fancy picture and it's going to look super cute. And I'm like, I don't look like Jess when I do this. Like I don't look cute. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how that angle works for her because it just gives me a double chin. I don't even think I have a double chin, but when I do that freaking fancy picture, there's a double chin there. So it doesn't work for me. And that's fine.
Can you go out of the car, see if my keys
by mimicking and then it doesn't work out, that's fine too. Like you can try to do something that you think you're going to be good at and then you're not good at it, but you just have to be honest with yourself. Like be like, oh, that really didn't work. Like I'm just not going to do that again, And when I first started doing videos, for example, they were terrible. And when I look back at my very first video ever of working out, I was like, that is like the worst thing I ever posted in the whole 2 years of my coaching career. And I don't know how I thought that was okay. I just don't. And now I'm freaking badass at videos, but I also post the same videos all the time because I'm not fancy. So people see my videos and they're like, oh, another video by Ange, same thing, same old, kids running around, jumping on her, dog licking her face, whatever, So, I'm just not good at videos though. So I'm not going to pretend to be and try to do something fancy and new because it's not my thing. So that's that. And does anyone else have a question or a specific question on something we talked about tonight real quick before we end? Trish, are you raising your hand? Oh, yes. I get to call on you.
I was like, wait, don't go.
No, I'm here.
So the way I downloaded the app while you were talking, so is it as you have the app on your phone for your tasks, but you're working on your computer, so you're
Let me show you how it looks on my computer. You know what? That's a good point. If I show you really quick, it's going to make more sense because I think you could pretty much figure out the what do you call this? An app, right? Is that pretty self-explanatory?
Hey.
Trish, are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what Gmail looks like when you bring up your task and how it will sync together. So I'm just going to show you really quick. I just got to open my email. Hold on one second. Because this is super important, guys. Like, I love this. This has like literally changed the game for me. I know that sounds so stupid, but it's like, I just think when it's at your hands all the time and you can just physically see it on your computer screen, it's way easier to stay committed to it than if you're trying to find the paper and pen every time. I do keep a pad in my bag at all times though, like my little pink pad. Where is it now? Hold on. Now I have to find how I put it. It disappeared on me. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, now it's up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen really, really quick. Share screen. Okay. Do you see right here on the right-hand side?
Yeah, hold on.
Tracker. What?
Where's the thing for them?
They broke it.
They broke it?
Yeah.
He's going to get sick then.
Okay, Danny, can you come down? Oh my God. Okay, so this is the tracker task right here. So if you see, Jen's going to laugh because she's on here. Let's find her. Where is she? Train Jennifer, 10 a.m. Monday. But I said, sign Jennifer. So I didn't forget that she wanted to sign up. Once she signed up, I clicked her, and then I added underneath there like a little subdivision that said, train Jennifer. And then I trained her. So we clicked that off. Now it would be like, retrain Jennifer because I talked too much on her call and she probably didn't learn it. But I have to read. I also put what's in my life. So I need to my receipts are like all over the place from Summit. I need to do that. I need to sign up Heather tonight. Once she does it, I'm going to click her and then I'm going to write train. I want to make new prep plans because the old ones are whatever. See, my friend Celia is finding her baby gender out this day. So I alerted myself to message her in the morning and say good luck and find out how it goes. My client wanted a detox, so I put 12:30. Don't forget, I've snoozed it all day, so that has to happen before I go to bed. I got to cancel my friend's shakes. I got to fill out some passport forms if I'm really going to go to Punta Cana because I don't have a passport. Pay my mortgage. That should have been done a long time ago, but I'm financing, so don't judge me. And email for Michelle, and I have to cancel her I have to skip a month for her. So I have to remind myself to do that. And that's how that works. But anything I put here or anything I put in the app itself, they will both be in both places. So if I add something here right now, it's going to show up on my app. If I add something on my app, like everything I added here today was on my app. It wasn't through here, but it's here when I open my email. So
your Google Calendar app?
No, it's called GTasks Pro. That's this. GTasks Pro is this little thing right here in your email. Mm-hmm. And then what I do while I'm here is, let me just pull it up. I go to, but I always forget where to go to get it. So give me 1 second because I really suck at this. And just, I click here and I open up my calendar at the same time. So this is what my desktop always looks like. Oh, and you know what? While I have this open, this is one thing that I love about the tracker, guys. If you're in here, you can do the, you can pre-schedule just like some of the apps that we have, or like the like page, you can pre-schedule your group. So you can write post to group and then, oh no, that's for now. Where's the scheduled? I'm sorry. I'm still learning, so bear with me. But if you click on scheduled drafts or posts, I did the next 5 days. So I have the next 5 days of 5 a.m. posts to go up before I even open my eyes or get out of my bed. Or if I'm up, it's just going to be done for me. And I literally did it by like day 3, last day of detox. Guys, you made it. Detox is over. Here's a video about my little detox. So I made a video on YouTube today and I just said, good job, guys. I'm really proud of you. And then I put the URL here, which it actually shows up when it's in the group, the video itself. And that's it. So it's such an easy thing because like you're staying accountable to your group, even if you're like having a hard week, right? So sorry, that was a tangent, but so here's my email. I leave this open. I leave this on the side here and I leave open my calendar. And in my calendar, I leave it in the month and then I do the same. Where the hell is my calendar? Oh, you know what? I'm a freaking idiot. I bet you I have my calendar and my Viola Wierzbicky because I'm the worst. And I'm so see, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. I'm not perfect. But if I open this calendar, I'm sure hopefully all of my stuff is there because that's where I put everything. But yeah, so this is my calendar for the month. And what I did was, oh my God, where's all my shit, man? Sorry. Oh, it's because I'm weak. Sorry. So Labor Day group, and it's running every day, right? But then also I put like post before pics and meal prep pics right here. And something cool I really love that I did, oh, see here, I said check in with Allison, check on Allison's trip, like I told you guys. I also put here potentials and I edit the event every time I have someone that wants to start next month that I have to check in on next month. So on the 1st, I'm going to have like whatever, I probably have some more I have to add in here, and I write down what they were interested in. So I write down what they're interested in their name. And then on the 1st, I will click on them and I'll go on my potentials and I'll go over all the people that I left there. And this is why it works, because I used to do this, but in a calendar on my, like a little calendar that I put in my bag, but I just never consistently use it. So if I didn't have it for some reason, I didn't write that person down. But now I have my Google Calendar in here and in my phone. So whenever I'm doing my follow-ups, which usually I do follow-ups on my computer more than on my phone. I do check-ins on my phone, but follow-ups on my computer. While I'm following up tomorrow, I'll just open this back up and leave this open while I'm doing it. So I'm like, okay, Angela, she wants Pio, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So when I come back here on the 1st, I should have everyone listed that I talked to through the month if I'm consistently using it right. So that's one thing that I'm doing. Another thing is discard changes. I don't know why it's not go live. Oh, see, it said go live in the group to explain the next few days of the challenge, right? So I reminded myself to do a live video inside the group to let them know how their challenge was going to work. I also have something in here, which it's not popping up here for some reason, but every day it alerts me to put in a new chapter of the book we're reading for our personal development as a team, like as our, as my client team. I'm doing a personal development book with them, and I add a new chapter every day with a topic and what the chapter was about, and then I ask them a question. So I have a pop-up every morning that says, post a new chapter. So I don't forget, and I leave the book right in front of my desk. So I do it as soon as I wake up. So that's that. Let me stop sharing. Stop share. So that seems way easier, right? If you have a Google email, you can use your Google Calendar and just sync it with your smartphone. Exactly. So everything you do on your Google, everything I do right there in front of your face, I've either put in through my computer or I put in through my phone. And the other thing that I told you guys, which was the Cal List Pro, that is for the events. So it's a bundle pack that you get for GTasks Pro. I'm going to put it in the chat, Megan, because I see your face and I love confusing you, but and I probably said it wrong and you're going to correct me, so hold on. So those are the 2 apps. They were $5.99 to get both of them, but they're totally worth $6. Like, it's changed my whole business.
Well, I just download. Oh, wait, maybe I found it.
What are you paying for? That's extra. Google does it all. On your phone though, because this is individual, like this. Look, I'll show you it on my actual phone. Okay, so this is what one app looks like. This is just the tasks. Does that come for free in the Google? Megan, if you would just talk sometimes, it would be so much easier. Megan pretends like she doesn't have a voice. I don't think my headphones work. Okay. I don't look into it though, Megan. Let us know. When I post the recording of this into the group, tell us what you found, or if anyone finds more information. I don't know. I paid $5.99 because maybe I'm lazy and I didn't want to look too long, but I loved it and I wanted it, so I just did it. But literally syncing them has been everything. So everything you do on your computer, everything you do on your phone, individually put into different places, put together. So you can't say, oh, I forgot because it's in my phone, or I forgot because I left it on my computer anymore, because it's going to be in both places. And I think that's golden, because I know that I was a victim of like doing it all over the place. And then when I looked, I was like, I have notes everywhere and I don't know who I'm supposed to check in with anymore. So
I like too that you're putting it ahead and like it colors it for you too, and you see it.
Yeah, you can change all different
it's
colors.
It's like a fancy Excel.
You can change all of the colors. I change like potentials to yellow because that's important, and I don't want to forget to do that on the first and check in with those people, stuff like that. So you can set priorities, so you can put exclamation points on something that has to be done right away, et cetera, et cetera. It's amazing. Work through it, guys. Figure it out. If you have any questions, ask me. But as you can tell, I'm still learning myself, so it's a learning game. I do have
rice in here,
a calendar in a different email, but they're all synced to my phone, so I didn't even notice until this moment that I said it and did it. So, which is fine, because Angela Wierzbicky is actually my Beachbody email, so all of my Beachbody events go through there, and then it links automatically to my calendar and my Facebook, so it works out. So actually, that's a good point. If you're using your Facebook, if you have a different email for Facebook than you're using for like a regular like work email, like my work email is Angela Fit Mom, and that's where my tasks are. But like my Angela Wierzbicky is where my Facebook is linked to, and my Instagram and all that good stuff. So that's a better calendar to use, because you have all of your events there. So when it's someone's birthday or whatever, and every time it's a client's birthday, like I put it in our support group and I like say happy birthday to them now. So I want to know when it's someone's birthday. Okay, I don't want to run this too late because it's already 9:30, but does anyone have anything they need to ask right now that they can't hang up before they know? Is there anything super important, or can it wait? Or can you message me, or can you comment on the video? Are we good? Everyone's good? Thumbs up? Good? Okay, good. Thanks for sticking through. I try so hard to make these videos short, but you know I can never do that. But I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys took something away. But listen, like I said, implement. Don't just listen to me. Don't just say I'm going to do that. Don't say that's a good idea. Don't download these things tonight and never use them. Don't do that. Unless it doesn't work for you. Like Megan said, like I said, if it doesn't work and you hate it, don't make it work because Angela said it works and it's amazing, because that doesn't mean that it works for you. There are lots of things that are awesome and amazing that I don't freaking understand. Like there's like this Google thing that's freaking awesome, and Alyssa Shoemaker did a video on it. I was like, oh my God, I'm so going to do that. And then I downloaded all the attachments and I was like, this makes no sense to me. And I never used it because I didn't understand it, and it would take me more time to learn it. So don't try to learn something that you can't understand, but if it works for you, then make it work, implement it, use it, continuously use it. And that's what I got for you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being on, and I love you guys, and we'll talk tomorrow.